Whether you're someone who stumbled into my channel, or you were referred here, I just want to say hello, welcome. I am the Bored Enthusiast, as I am known here on the interwebs, and today we're going to be doing a short Q&A on my channel and what I am all about. I have been drawing since I was about 14 years old, and I've known that I've wanted to be an animator. It's thanks to Psych2Go that I've started from absolutely nothing, and I've been able to hone my skills to get to where I am now. So a question that I usually get is, how did I start animating with Psych2Go? It was around mid-2020. I wasn't specifically looking for an animation job. A family member of mine saw a help wanted on Facebook, and they sent it to me, and they were like, hey, do you know Psych2Go? And I was like, yeah, I do. And they're like, well, they're looking for a few animators. And I'm like, well, I've never animated before. Let me hit them up anyway. So that very morning, I emailed them. And they were like, hey, can you show a little bit of work? Can you do anything? And so, yeah, I sent a little animatic that I made on my channel. Okay, true story. I had a dream the other day where I had an Alexa. And I was like, Alexa, something, something. And she answered me. And I was like, thank you. And she said, next. And I was like so frustrated. And I said, thank you. And she said, next. And I was like, thank you, next. And it went on like 15 times, and then I woke up laughing. And they were like, yeah, I think we'll have you on. And I was like, yes. I had no idea how to animate. My animation looked like this. Now my animation looks like this. And ever since then, I've been animating pretty consistently. Pretty much, I've had a project going every month or so. It takes me about 2 weeks to make an animation, sometimes 3 weeks. And it's usually between like 5 to 8 minutes long, which is a pretty long time. Believe it or not, my first animation project was the longest one I've ever taken. It was a whole 9 minutes long. Nowadays, I think about that and I'm like, oh my gosh, how in the heck? At the start, they gave me their longest project. So now I just look back at that and I'm like, okay, wow, all right. Question number 2. What program do I use to animate? You see, I animate caveman style. I don't use an animation program. I use a drawing program, and it's free. I use Ibis Paint. I know, that's insane, but heck, I was working with what I had at the time, and at this point, after 1 whole year, I still use Ibis Paint, which is insane to me. I'm trying to learn how to use animation programs, but that is a steep learning curve. I'm working on it, okay? We're gonna learn together, okay? That's what we're here for. That's what this channel's for. Me, you, we're vibing together. I learned some things, and you watch me learn some things, and I'll teach you the things that I learned. That's how it goes. So I use Ibis Paint to animate, and at the same time, I use Final Cut Pro to edit my videos. So I have this little technique where I just span Control-C, Control-V to make it look like it's moving, and it's worked so far. So there's that. I got Final Cut Pro as a graduation gift from another family member of mine. But I'm not saying you gotta go out there and buy a really expensive program in order to animate. What I'm saying is get a solid editing program. I would say probably iMovie or Sony Vegas. It'll work out. It'll work. Trust me. Or actually, also Video Leap is a really good one if you want a good recommendation. But if you want a recommendation for an animation software, I could give you the free ones and the ones that I know are good, but that doesn't quite necessarily mean that I currently use them, because like I said, I'm a caveman. But I'm gonna get there. I'm learning. I'll probably, as a matter of fact, I might do a challenge on this channel where I will animate a shot just to see how far I can take it. Alright, next question. How long have I been drawing / animating? I've been drawing since I was around 14 years old, and at the start, I was really into anime, and I was really into cartoons on Cartoon Network, and I would draw. I went to the library. This one was actually my very first how to draw a book that I borrowed from the library. I look at it now and I'm like, yo, this book kind of sucks, but this book raised me as a child. This book built me into the person I am today. And ever since then, I've been drawing and keeping sketchbooks. Animation, I've only been doing animation for 1 year. Like I said, Psych2Go. I've never animated prior to that, officially. It was just always a bunch of projects that I would try and then I would quit. I would have this huge idea for an animation project and then I would just quit. But then Psych2Go was like, hey, do this thing, figure it out, and we'll give you money. And I'm like, oh, there's money now. I know that sounds super shallow. And as a result, I had to teach myself how to finish a project, how to start a project, how to plan a project, and how to see it through to the end. How did I learn to animate? Brute force, baby. I forced myself to learn how to animate. At first, it looked like a cruddy slideshow. But now it looks like this. That's what brute force and just pure passion will get you, baby. That's all I can really say. Here's the next question. Am I currently doing art commissions? Currently, as of February 2022, I am not. However, in the future, maybe I'll change my mind, so keep your eyes peeled. Next question. Why can't I just screen record instead of filming my hands drawing? Now, this is a kind of a personal preference, as a matter of fact. I grew up with artists like Mark Crilly. Mark Crilly was one of my first online drawing teachers, and I still love him to this day. I always would see like how he did it because it felt really personal by how I could see his hands doing all the work. Nowadays, if it's just like a speed paint like this current one right here, trust me, these speed paints are not going to happen very often because when it's just pixels appearing on the screen, I don't know, I feel like it loses that interpersonal aspect that I look for specifically. And that's just a personal preference. I'll probably even put aside the screen sometimes and crack out the pencil and paper. So that's just a me thing. These two questions are kind of connected. How do I start and learn how to draw? And should a beginner take the principles as dogma? These are some really good questions because when it comes to learning how to draw, you always start with the basics. But here's the thing, people come to me and say, I can't even draw a stick figure, and they're like, oh, it's the easiest thing, and I can't even do it. Well, here's the thing, if it's really easy, once you master a stick figure, then you could probably master, say, symbology drawing, maybe even master parts of 3D drawing. Learning is always in increments. So, should a beginner take the principles as dogma? For a short time, only to get a beginner as far as mastering these techniques. Starting out really, really simple and going on from there, it's a craft. That's how it works. Because you have to learn the rules before you start to break them. I've heard a lot of artists like really obsess over, oh, I need a style. No. Drawing styles are something that you gain along the way. However, when it comes to drawing, you learn the basic principles, you learn the basic rules, and once you master those, then you can start to twist it and make it your own. So what I would recommend starting to learn how to draw is probably watching demonstrations online, getting in contact with some of your favorite artists, maybe finding some artists online, because that's definitely where I started. My art journey might be different than your art journey, and that's just how life is. When it comes to learning how to draw, you learn from someone who's more skilled, and you take the beginner principles and master them before you go off on your own. Alright, next question. Why the Bored Enthusiast? So the Bored Enthusiast username is actually something that my brother thought of, and I have to thank him for that. But as I got to thinking about it more, it's like, yeah, I kinda am the Bored Enthusiast. Because here's the thing, it's just something that I do on my free time, and it's just really enveloped my interest for so many years. Growing up as a teen, drawing was something that I did on my free time. Something that I wanted to master just because it just gave me that pure sense of joy. It got me to escape reality and just focus on a little task that I know I could do well. And at the time, believe it or not, I actually couldn't do it well. I thought I could do it well, but it was the fact that I was confident enough to feel like, oh, I can be better. I can get good. So I became an enthusiast in drawing and animating. How is it done? How do you animate? How does it look? I want to look under the hood. And if this is where my skill level has led to now, I can only imagine where it's going to look like 2 years, 5 years from now. And that's something that gets me up every morning. But it's not something that I would necessarily say I would sell my soul to the machine for. I'm not saying, oh, go to art school. I'm not in art school. I'm not studying art. I'm studying data analytics. That's gonna make me money. But the thing is, art is my baby. It's my passion. It just gives me that basic fulfillment that I know not a lot of people can say that they have. The thing is, in life, once you find that thing that gives you simple joy, simple fulfillment in your life, whether it's drawing, fishing, golfing, wood carving, nothing else really matters. You end up not caring what other people think anymore. It's just something that I've cultivated over the years that lately I've kind of set aside, but currently that's what I made this channel for. I want to draw a lot more often. I want to be prompted to learn. I want to grow my skills, but it's been hard finding motivation, and I feel like being able to upload at least once a week, do like one drawing a week, I think that would help me personally as to become the artist I want to be, as well as hopefully help all of you as you watch me on my journey. So here's another good one. What if one was interested in animation? where would they start? That's a really, really good question, because I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for my own experience, unfortunately. But if one was interested in animation, I would say to put yourself into that position where you have to brute force your way into learning it. Whether it's doing a simple little shot, like a little, like making tiny little GIFs, or just do like I did, just sign up for a job with it, completely inexperienced, and just brute force your way through. That's how I did it. But hey, I am where I feel like I need to be, and who knows where I'll be in the future. I know that's kind of chintzy to go the Nike just do it route, you know, just do it. But it's the truth. That's how you learn how to do anything. You just do it. In order to learn to play the piano, you gotta put your hands on the piano sometime. If you want to learn how to write, you gotta write a little story. If you want to learn how to draw, you just kind of pick up the pencil and figure it out. Like, no one's gonna hold your hand. Well, I can't say that. I'm here to hold your hand if you want, but you're the only one who can build your own skills. So yeah, this concludes my Q&A for today's video. Hey, if you dig my vibes, go ahead, like, subscribe. If you actually want notifications when I'm uploading, go ahead and hit that bell, okay? Also, if you know anyone who could possibly benefit from learning how to draw or building these kinds of skills, go ahead and share it. I would really appreciate it. And as always, I'm the Bored Enthusiast, and I hope to see you all again real soon.